Welcome back, my dear sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy and my husband is Paul. We are an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York. And basically, we show you how to live a full, abundant life while spending less money. It is the Friday before Memorial Day, so we want to wish you all a very happy Memorial Day. It's kind of like the beginning of summer for us. I know it's not officially, but it kind of feels like it. And we want to thank those who have given their life to keep us free and to allow us to be here right now to talk to you. We are forever grateful. Thank you. Let's get into this video. Today's video is about being prepared. Not panicking, not being afraid, but being prepared for all kinds of scenarios. And Paul is going to show you a bunch of ways he handles being prepared. And then I want to talk to you about being prepared quickly in the home. And we're going to share an amazing recipe with you. So just a bunch of good, helpful tips. Right now, we are being bombarded with people telling us to do this and people telling us to do that to get prepared. Oh, there will be food shortages. The price of gasoline is going to go up to $10 a gallon. Home heating oil is going to skyrocket. What can we do? We're going to show you some simple ways we are combating that. We talked the other day about growing some of our own food. Paul's going to show you some other ways that if we were to lose power, how we handle that, even ways to filter water, heat our home, what to do if you can't use your lawnmower outside. So many different things he has in store. He's really creative with this kind of stuff. So we thought this would be very relevant for right now. Now, this is not a scare tactic. This is nothing like that. This is just saying, not only do we want to get food in the house, which I am encouraging you every time you go to the store, stock up on a little extra food to bring into the home, shelf stable. We just want to do that because, again, we don't know what's around the corner. Consolidate your trips. Don't waste more gasoline than you need to. Point being, $5 a gallon for gasoline. When you plan your trips, think about how far you're going. Can you do them all in one day? Things like that. Continue to save your money. Emmy, I can't save anymore. Please, if you've never tracked your spending, start tracking your spending now. See exactly where every penny is going. And I guarantee you there may be a little wiggle room somewhere in there. Take that money, put it aside in case you need it. Things break, things happen. We need to be prepared. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera over to Paul. We're first going to head outside and he's going to show us some ways that we stay prepared. Some of them are a little old-fashioned. Some of them might not work for all of you. But again, maybe you can take a little gold nugget away. So here we go. Paul has been working on this for 2 days. Okay. We paid $225 a cord. We got 4 cords. The wood is our supplemental heat, and with the way prices are going, we got it super early this year. Usually we don't get the wood till July, but we were afraid the price would go up. So that's why we grabbed it now in May.
Okay, here it is. 4 cords of firewood that we stacked on pallets. Pretty high. I have it covered with some tarps to keep the rain off of it. Look at this. This just keeps on going and going. This is what we need to keep our home warm during the cold winter months here. We have a wood burning stove in our living room downstairs. So this is a very cheap way, frugal way to heat our home in the wintertime. With the price of oil, we can turn down our thermostats even more and just burn wood. Power seems to go out all the time where we live. It could be in the summertime, the wintertime. It's just a nuisance. So we have this backup generator. Emmy and I bought this years ago before the generator craze hit the area. We had a sub pump in our house and the power would keep going out and we would have to find ways to siphon out the sub pump with a garden hose. It just got too crazy. So we purchased this and this has been a great addition. This powers our refrigerators, our freezers, our oil burner, anything you can think of. When you run this device, you want to make sure you run it outside and away from your home so none of the carbon monoxide gets into your house. As you can see here, you have options of plugging in different devices. You have circuit breakers. This is a great little device to have. When we run this generator, we don't run it 24 hours non-stop. We cycle this generator. What I do with this device is I run it for about 6 hours and then shut it off. I let it rest 4 or 5 hours. By cycling your generator, you're not only saving the engine, but you're saving on gas, which is a huge savings. We ran our generator for a power failure of 7 days. We only used 4 gallons of gas by cycling that generator. We didn't lose any food. We weren't freezing cold. It worked perfectly. Do your research once again on a generator. Size it for your home, and remember, you can't run everything on a generator. You don't do your laundry, you don't run your electric stove. You have to be prepared and run just what's important. My mind is always turning. I always see things and try to figure out a way to repurpose. This steel grate I found out in a recycling center and I grabbed it and I thought to myself, you know what I could do with this? If I took 4 cinder blocks and put this on top of 4 cinder blocks, I could build a fire underneath of it and cook outdoors if I had to. So that's just the way I was thinking. Found this little guy out in the trash. I guess somebody tossed it because it's a lot more work than running a regular gasoline engine push mower. So I said, you know what, to do this little part of the yard up here where we like to sit, I'm just going to use the little push mower. Try to save some money. I think they call this a reel mower. The way it operates, I see these, used when I was a kid. Also, we have 2 small solar panels that can hang in the window in the sun, or you can take them outside and point them directly at the sun for maximum power. These solar panels Emmy and I use to charge cellular phones, batteries, flashlights, anything that needs charging while the power is out. You charge them up during the day and you have them for the night. These are great panels for preparing for power failures. So make sure you do your research when you're looking for solar panels for your house. You're also going to need a charge controller that matches the solar panels that you're buying. You can read about that also when you do your research. A lot of times they're sold with the panels. The charge controller converts the sunlight electricity into usable power that the battery needs to charge up properly. So you need solar panels, you need charge controller, and some sort of battery to be your reserve, or your flashlight, your cell phone, and any other device you need to operate on the solar panels. It's a great addition to have for your home. Emmy and I purchased these on the internet a few years ago, I think for about $22 plus shipping. We lose power all the time here in New York, and sometimes it lasts 4 hours, sometimes 8, sometimes a week. The electric grid is not a very stable source of power. You have to have some sort of backup. Emmy and I found this at a flea market in Pennsylvania, and I think we paid $5 for this. We have several of these type of lamps to use when the power goes out at night. You light them up, they run on oil, they're clean. This one's a wall-mounted unit, and it's got a reflector on the back to shine the light out. Also keep the heat away from the wall. This thing is really nice, I love it. When you use these, you have to remember there's quite a bit of heat radiating out of it. The glass is hot, the chimney is hot, so keep your pets and kids away from it. Just remember, when you put these out, they're still hot for quite some time. In addition to our lamps, we also have lamp oil that we keep on our shelf in the garage, so when it's time to replenish the lamp oil, we have it. My parents gave me a gift certificate to LL Bean, which is an outdoor outfitting store. I started thinking, I said, gee, what would be better than a coat or a dog bed? How about a water purifier? And I found this great one. This one got great reviews. Do your research when you're looking for this. But basically you toss this hose into a clean water source, like a nice lake or a good stream. not salt water, lake, fresh water only. And you pump this, it goes through the filter and fills the bottle up with water. You can use this as hiking, or what in our case, we would use it to fill up gallon jugs and bring them to the house in the event of an emergency. To properly use this device though, you must make sure that your water source is clean. No chemicals, not stagnant, not a puddle. This isn't for seawater. This is strictly for a good sized lake or stream. We live in an area that's got a lot of lakes and reservoirs, so we have plenty of clean water. So if you've got a clean water source nearby, this is a perfect way to filter out bacteria, particulates, and any other thing that would make your drinking water terrible. Here's something every home should have. This thing is fantastic. Emmy bought me this for Christmas and I was really surprised to see it. This is a AM/FM radio, a weather alert radio. It has a flashlight on it. It has an SOS flashlight on it. And what's really cool is it has a solar panel on the top to charge the battery. It also has a hand crank that you can charge this by turning it. So this is a great addition. I took this on our vacation with us. The flashlight is incredibly bright. There's 2 modes. This is just something every house should really have.
Yay, I think he did such a great job. And this is not a sponsored video. You know, we're not telling you to buy anything, please. That's not it. We're just showing you what we do. We're sharing our journey with you. The one thing that I want you to note that Paul said was the very last item he showed. It was the emergency weather radio. And I got that for Paul for Christmas. It did not cost much. I thought it would be something good to have in the home. Paul said, really, every home should have that just because you can crank it, you can hear the news, AM, FM, the weather comes through, it's a flashlight. It's got a power port in it too.
Yep, you can charge your cell phone off of it.
Okay, for a minimal amount of money. That may be something you want to consider. Again, we're not telling you to buy anything. And also the generator, of course, that's not going to be something if you live in an apartment you can use, but that's common sense. And now I want to share a recipe with you. It is for a soft hamburger roll. You do not have to use this for hamburger rolls. You can use this recipe for any kind of bread roll. It was phenomenal. What happens if someone comes to your home and they drop in for a visit and it's getting toward lunchtime or it's getting towards dinner time? I don't know about you, but I would always offer someone food. Be prepared for the unexpected. I would never, ever find it offensive if someone came over and stayed a little longer. Maybe they want to talk. Maybe you're just laughing and having a good time, and it runs into mealtime. And this is unexpected. Look at it as a blessing. Please don't look at it as an inconvenience, as someone being rude. Look at it as a blessing. You always have something to serve people. And I don't believe anybody who says, I don't have anything to serve an unexpected guest. You have some eggs. You could scramble eggs and toast with a cup of tea. You could make a can of tuna and crackers. You could make a grilled cheese. You could cut up some fruit. There's always something that we have that we can share with someone else. Now that's just my 2 cents worth. These rolls, you can make them and put them in the freezer. We made a half a batch. They were outstanding. But next time I will make the full batch and freeze the rest. When you need them, you just pull them out, let them thaw, and pop them in the oven for just a minute. They are so easy, delicious, and let's be prepared for the unexpected. Here's the recipe. I don't know about you, but a good grilled hamburger really needs a good roll or bun to sit on top of. And yes, I know hamburger rolls are super cheap in the store. They're like 99 cents a package. But sometimes making it yourself is just so much more worth it. So we are going to put our pan on medium heat. I am going to start with a 1/2 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of butter. I've got a 1/2 cup of water I'm adding, 1/2 tablespoon of sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. It does call for 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, but I'm using a little less. But I will link the original recipe down below. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're just going to bring it to a gentle boil while stirring. This has come to a gentle boil, as you can see. I'm going to turn it off now, remove it from the hot burner, and let it cool. In my mixing bowl, I am going to put 1, 2.5 cups all-purpose flour. Now remember, when you're making bread, don't pack the flour. You want the flour to be scooped and then leveled off. This recipe called for 2 3/4 cups. I'm going to start with 2.5 cups, and if I need more flour, I will add it. And a teaspoon of yeast. I am making a half batch of these rolls. I'm making 6 instead of 12. Our liquid mixture cooled for about 30 minutes. And you want it to just feel warm to the touch. If it's too hot, it will kill the yeast. And if it's too cold, the yeast won't rise. I put my dough hook on. Now it says to mix it for about 8 minutes with the dough hook. If you don't have a dough hook, then you would need it for about 10 minutes. So we're going to start that now. And this dough looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks perfect. I did not add any more flour to this, so I actually used 2.5 cups, and it was perfect. I greased this bowl, and now I'm just going to take my dough and roll it around in the bowl so each side gets greased. Now I'm going to cover it with a cloth towel, and I am going to let it rise for just about an hour or until it's doubled. We'll check it. Looks beautiful. Now I'm going to gently punch it down. There we go. I'm going to turn it over on itself, and what a beautiful dough. Look at this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to weigh this dough. So this dough weighs just about 1 pound, 3 ounces. So I'm going to make each roll about 3 ounces each. Perfect. Oh my goodness. What I'm going to do now is just take this roll and tightly put it under itself. Just like that. You see that? And then I'm going to take it either using parchment paper or a baking mat. I am going to make 6 of these little rolls at 3 ounces each. And now what I'm going to do is just flatten them ever so slightly, because these are going to be hamburger rolls. Just a little bit. You can see them bouncing back. That's how beautiful this dough is. Just give them a little flat. And they don't want to stay flat, but that's okay. They'll be nice and puffy. Just cover them again and let them rest for 20 more minutes. Now we're going to take 1 egg, and we want the yolk. We don't want the white. We don't waste the white. We use that in an omelet or scramble it up, add it to a recipe, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of water. And then we're just going to whisk this together. This is what we're going to use to brush on top of our rolls. These rose for another 20 minutes, and I'm just taking the egg yolk mixture, gently putting it on top of our little hamburger rolls. Now we're going to take these, put them in a preheated 400-degree oven, and we're going to let them cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. At this point, you could put some sesame seeds on. You could put everything but the bagel seasoning on. You could do whatever you want. We're having them with hamburgers, so we're just going to keep them like this. So into the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. These cooked for 15 minutes. They look so beautiful. Look at how big and puffy and beautiful. Oh my goodness. They feel light as air. I'm going to put them on a wire rack to cool just a little bit. We're anxious to try one, but nope, we're going to be good and we're going to wait till it cools down just a little. But these were so easy and they came out absolutely scrumptious looking. So here we go. It is cutting open time. Super light and fluffy. Oh my goodness. Look at this. We have been working outside all day. No one is going to do an on-air taste test. Paul and I were just like, you do it. No, you do it. But these look amazing. We just are having some corn on the cob, some tomato, cucumber, and goat cheese salad. And that tomato and the goat cheese are from South Carolina. When we visited, we brought it back with us and we still have some. So that's going to be delicious. And then I take my burgers pretty plain. I just put a little ketchup. So these rolls look so good. Look at this. Dinner is served. We wish you bon appetito. Now that's a burger. Look at Paul's. He really loads it up. I know Paul's burger put my burger to shame, right? Those rolls, honestly, so good. You saw how easy the dough was to work with. These are items we're going to want to start stocking up on again, is yeast and flour, just to have in the house. We all remember how scarce and hard it was to find at one point. Always keep some extra. And next week, we're going to be showing you how Paul and I preserve and keep these kind of foods fresh. So make sure you tune in next week. Today's question of the day. What would you serve if someone came over for a quick visit, but you ended up chatting, stayed a little late? What do you have right now that you could serve them? Not a full gourmet meal, but what could you put out to make them feel welcomed and to share with them? Leave your answers down below, please, because not only will it give Paul and I ideas, but it will also encourage our community. And I think so many of you appreciate the comments of one another. You're always saying that, and that makes me so happy. It makes my heart smile, so thank you. So share. In a pinch, what could you put together to bless someone with at your table? Impromptu, nothing fancy. And to end the video, we do want to say our thoughts and prayers are with those families in Uvalde, Texas. Our hearts just go out to you all. Please know that. We ask you to be safe. We ask you to stay well. We love you all so much. And above all, we wish you blessings. We will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.